Hey guys, Nick Espinosa, your chief security fanatic here, and it's Sunday, so we are doing data breaches of the week. And I swear, this probably might be the longest one I've done, which is interesting because the record for this I broke probably about a month ago or so, and we just continue to keep seeing breaches increase. So without further ado, let's get cracking on it. And these are literally going to take us around the world. And our first stop is going to be the United Kingdom. Now, there is a parenting website there called Mumsnet, and they are reporting to the UK data protection group that they basically upgraded their system, and that lets some users see details of other accounts. So that is considered a data breach under UK law, which obviously makes sense, and so they reported themselves. The next one is going to bring us back to the United States. Now, there is a restaurant chain called Huddle House, and in looking them up, I actually realized we have some here in Chicago. I've never been there. They, and I quote, criminals compromised a third-party point-of-sales vendor data system and utilized the vendor's assistance tool to gain remote access and the ability to deploy malware within a Huddle House's system. So if you have eaten at a Huddle House, you might want to check your credit cards. Next, we're going to be going to Roper St. Francis Healthcare and Valley Professional Community Health Center. That is a very long title. This is in Indiana, although they are based in Charleston, South Carolina, and they basically said that 13 of their employees fell victim to a large-scale phishing campaign which was discovered on November 30th. They believe the malicious hackers had access from November 15th to about December 15th or so, and they have cut that off. So if you have been there, and I'm not going to say that long name again, you might want to check that out. Next one, we're going to be moving on to California and a place called Bayside Covenant Church. Now, in October of 2018, they became aware of suspicious activity in employees' email accounts, aka phishing, and unauthorized actors basically got access to that information, which gave them a list of apparently the congregation. This is between August 3rd, 2018 and October 20th of 2018. So take that for what it's worth. The next one we're going to be going to is Aqua Vista. Now, this is a real estate developer off of Lake Winnipesaukee or around there. They got hit with an email phishing campaign between May 11th and August 31st of last year and have recently disclosed that publicly in a breach. Moving on, we're going to be talking about the Valley Hope Association. Now, this is a Kansas-based nonprofit clinic, and they help people with drug and alcohol addictions. They have 16 facilities in 7 states. They got hit with the phishing attack as well in October, and they eventually caught that on November 23rd of last year. So that is a problem, and if you are associated in any way with Valley Hope Association, you might want to check that out. We're going to head on over to Australia. Now, Australia's parliament, that's their core governing body, had their network hacked, although they are saying that no data was stolen. Now, in a joint statement by House of Representatives Speaker Tony Smith and the Senate President Scott Ryan, they said in the statement, and I quote, "We have no evidence that this attempt to influence the outcome of parliamentary processes or to disrupt or influence electoral or political processes occurred." So they're basically saying no real disruption. We did have a network penetration, but nothing was taken, stolen, influenced, etc. Moving on, we're going to be heading towards Kuala Lumpur. Now, the government there has a health-run insurance, basically an insurance plan for the bottom 40% of the workers. And they are now raising concern because the government apparently gave access to a third-party insurance company that then started scraping data and gathering all this information. That is actually considered a data breach there. And so they are actively looking into that right now. But it was a Singapore-based insurance company that was given that access. Moving on, we're going to come back to the United Kingdom, which is where we started. And we're going to go to Suffolk County in the UK. Now, this is a very localized data breach, but a couple basically adopted 3 children, from a local orphanage, adoption agency, whatever that is. But the county actually gave their personal information, including contact information, address, etc., to the birth mother who had her children taken away. And now these these people are basically in a state of fear. They have installed CCTV cameras, and they believe that they might this birth mother or her family might come and try to reclaim these kids. The county has apologized, offered compensation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and that is currently ongoing. So it's a very small breach, but here we are. Continuing on, because we are not done, we are moving off to South Africa. Now, there is an electricity utility company called Eskom in South Africa, and a researcher found that data was exposed and vulnerable. He made several attempts, according to him, to contact Eskom to say, hey guys, you need to fix your systems, you're leaking data, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That got ignored, and so he said, okay, I'll publish, and that's what he did. And now South African news outlets are reporting on Eskom, who hopefully will be fixing this problem. Coming into the United States, we're looking at the University of Cal Poly, and their College of Science just had a data breach when an employee of the College of Science accidentally sent an Excel spreadsheet to an outside third party that contained 4,557 students' information. Now, this did not include social security numbers, but it did have names, addresses, even races of students, and on and on and on. So that's obviously a very serious issue. And if you go to Cal Poly, heads up on that. We are now going to go to India and talk about the State Bank of India. Now, sources in India are reporting, news sources are reporting, that a data leak exposed the financial data of millions of customers of the State Bank of India, SBI. Now, SBI has come out and completely denies the incident, saying that never happened, and on and on and on. And so we don't know necessarily what happened, if State Bank is just covering themselves or if this actually happened. But as that unfolds, I'm sure we'll know more about that. But if you're in India and you use the State Bank of India, heads up on that. And finally, we are going to talk about a very personal data breach, and that would be Jeff Bezos. Now, I am not going to go into the details of that, obviously, and needless to say, his Amazon package may be delivered to the public pretty soon. But the interesting part about this, and while everybody's talking about that issue, I am curious to know how those pictures got out, or how a third-party organization was actually able to, to identify these, steal them, copy them, whatever. I'm just curious on that side of it. The rest of it, I think, is utterly ridiculous, but here we are, and, welcome to 2019. And those are your data breaches of the week. Were you affected? Let me know. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, guys.